Right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you're connected from. Here is Felix. All right. So we're exploring the global financial market and what do we want to actually explore. And so I'm going to do more of narrative today, and that's going to help you, those of you attending for the first time, to maximize opportunity that we have in the global financial market. Okay. So just pay up attention, and then I'm going to be taking you through one step at a time. Okay, but I'm going to tell you some stories. Okay, so um, funny enough, this is financial market, right? And let me just take off these ones. Good. Now, this is Bitcoin, but that's not the thing, and not the thing I want to talk to you guys today. I'm talking about exploring the global financial market. And of course, what is there in the global financial market? I told somebody sometime this thing that, let me show you something. I'm going to show you guys something. Oh, let's take this so that that could help you redefine your perspective and why you need to take the opportunity in this space very seriously. I'm going to show you something very quickly. Yes, I think I have that here. Just a moment, guys. I'm going to show us something very quickly. I'm going to show us something very, very quickly. Okay. I'm sorry. Today, meeting is not going to be too long because I have live trading and scalping by 1 p.m. And so this is going to be very brief, um, just for us to learn and understand something. All right. Okay, let me show you something. This is one of my statement in one of the book I've just put up. Maybe that will help some persons to understand a perspective. Okay, I'm going to show you that here. Let me just. I want to show you something. I don't know if I could paste it here. Okay, let me just. Okay, sorry about that. I think I was interrupted by some funny calls. Yes, so let's go. Okay, so now what I want to tell you is this: exploring the global financial market, but there's something I need to let you see and to understand that can help us, okay, to really be focused and be personal, okay, to really be focused and be personal with our business in the global financial market, exploring it. So it's beyond just one thing, and I will give us a narrative. And if you don't take stock about this, you will actually be chasing what is not significant to the global financial market. Now, let me quickly show you guys something very importantly. And so Let me just take a different environment. Pop card, something like that. Just go to a different environment entirely where I can have a plain chart. Okay, good. All right, so let me go this way. Now I want you to help me read it loud to yourself what I want to paste here. Then we pick up some stuff from there. Okay, so let's go this way. Good. We're going to read it together, okay? We're going to read it together, okay? Okay. Let's go together. If you're live and with me, let's read this thing together. The market is a device for transferring money from the inpatient to the patient, number one. The market, that's the global financial market, is a device for transferring money from the patient to the inpatient. Financial markets are investment vehicles, right, to financial freedom. Now, listen, the market is a device for transferring money from the inpatient to the patient. Financial markets are investment vehicle to your financial freedom. Therefore, learn how to drive moderately to arrive at your destination safely. I hope I'm communicating to somebody. Okay. You're going to learn something. So, why I'm saying this because I've met a lot of people, we've done a whole lot of things, and we say we're in the market or we're doing business in crypto, in all manner of things. So the unfortunate thing is that we're actually scamming ourselves. Okay, so that's why I want you to learn. And that's why this is called Explorer. Explorer is not just hyping you, Explorer is to explore, to give you reality of the space and what it takes. All right, what can happen. So, and that's where if you go to study the scripture, and this is not Bible class, but this is just, I'm sure it is in book of Matthew, the gospel, or talking about now we will take, okay, we shall take, let me just go here. We shall take from those who do not have. Okay, and give to those who have. Okay, so I just want to arrive at something and then, okay. Okay, so one thing is this. If at this point, just like we talk about trading, and I said so many times, I said, if trading is not yet boring to you, you've not started because you are still having your day. So that means you've not gotten to level of negotiating. All right. All right. For those who will be giving more, okay. So let me just take, I'm going to take this caption for you to understand the perspective. For unto everyone that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he had. Okay, that is Matthew. All right, so I want you to have a perspective. That's Matthew chapter 25, verse number 29. Okay, and so there's a perspective you should have. Oh, I beg your pardon. What's going on? Network problem. Oh my word. Oh, this Popcat. Oh, oh. It closes that one. Oh my word. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on? It closes that one. I'm going to take it back, okay? So I want to arrive at somewhere. So let's go. I want to arrive at somewhere. Okay. Am I arriving somewhere? Okay. Okay, I think it should be here. If I'm not mistaken. Yep. So it should be here. Okay, good. Popcat. Good. I thought you have finished your own psychedelic. You don't know that I have another way around to get you back. Okay. Have another way around to get you back. Good. There we go. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. So, see, this is Matthew, okay, chapter 25, and verses number 27 or 29, something like that. 29. Now, I want us to arrive at something. And so you have to have a different perspective to your business this time around and learning how to take personal responsibility so that you can arrive, safely and making money. So there's money in this space, but perhaps you have been doing it wrongly for a very long time. Paul, if those of you are connected, if you can hear me, please, can you just put 111 on the chat box if you can hear me? Yeah, I'm aware my screen was not shared. I'm going to share it right now. Yeah, if you can hear me, those of you on the call, can you just type 111 on the chat box if you can hear me quickly? You can just hear me, type 111 on the chat box quickly. If you can hear me, type 111 on the chat box very quickly. Thank you. If you can hear me, type 111 on the chat box. Okay, you can hear me, right? I want to be sure you can hear me. All right, thank you very much, Tanga. Thank you very much. You can hear me. All right, now, just a perspective. So look at it. Let's read together again, everybody. So we said, the market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. Learn how to drive moderately to arrive at your destination safely. All right, so PBX P&L strategy gives you the map, the time synchronization gives you the schedule, but only discipline gives you the key to the vault. So stay focused, stay objective. The top. So now you can see now this is a vehicle you want to drive. Now it's not enough to buy a car, and the fellow you bought a car from, or a company where you bought your car from, yeah. So I'm not going to concern. You've paid them and they've delivered. Okay. Uh, okay. Sorry, sending too many distractions. Okay. So, right? Now, it's not enough. They wouldn't take you to the driving school. They wouldn't tell you how to obey the traffic. But this is something here. The scripture say this: for unto everyone the heart shall be given. That's more. And he shall have abundance. Now, those who have. Now you can see that when it comes to business, I have understood something about business, being in online or offline, whatever. I've understood something about business. It doesn't matter your emotion. It doesn't matter how you feel. The necessary detail, all right, the whole deal will not change. Okay. Oh, what's going on? So it doesn't matter how you feel, your emotion and all of that. When it has to do with money, it is money. So if you feel the principle, forget about it. Oh, this is Steve. What's going on? Okay. Okay, sorry, guys. Sorry about that. It was serious interruption. Or a serious interruption, guys. Okay, so let's go back to what we're saying. Okay, so let's go back to what we're saying. Now, I want us to arrive at something very meaningful today. Now, say for unto everyone that had shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that had not shall be taken away even that which he had. That's what Matthew 25, verses 29 says. Come on. Now listen. Now, so I will seen the market, talk about the market just now, that the market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. It doesn't matter who you are. So far, you push yourself in the category of people who are not patient at all. And patient does not really come from just like, okay, I'm patient. Patient come from when you build up an understanding. Okay, you must build up an understanding for you to have patience. Now, so the knowledge you have, the information you have access to, is what determines how patient you will be in your approach. Okay, so now let's look at the market. Look at what we do in the financial market. I just mentioned about financial market. So financial market is beyond what you think or what you know. Okay, the financial market is beyond what you think or what you know. Okay, so about the summary of it. How come we're taking money from the patient or from the impatient? It's about your disposition. So if you have a wrong disposition, then definitely you are the impatient. Okay, guys, sorry for the things of being interrupted so much. So if you are impatient, so it's not, nobody will tag you impatient. You walk into it by the way you do, the way you approach your system, and all the like. Now let's look at the market in general. So the financial market, we talk about the financial market in general. So we're talking about, um, first of all, of course, the oldest we talk about is the stock market, the capital market. Now, I've said this thing yesterday in our market update and review, and I said, if you're in Nigeria, you should listen to me. Because why do I say that? I say that on purpose because a lot of people do not understand what's going on. Now, if you do not invest in the capital market, you're actually not benefiting anything from the government and the bourgeois. Why? Because it is in the capital market that you can share part of the general financial money from the government, because by policies, it can happen because every country, the moment they have independence, then they have stepped into a period or a place where their capital market have to be functioning. So every policy, every financial this thing, do you know why? Because every company, at least major companies that really matters, one way or the other, directly or indirectly, have their collective activities into the capital market. So if I want to be a farmer now, indirectly, it just for me, maybe I want to farm, let's say I want to farm oil palm, but I do not really have all the know-how and struggle and all what it takes. What will I do? I will just take my money and invest in company that deals in oil palm. And the best way of me doing that is to get into structure system, because some of us have done a lot of farming, give money to relative, give money to people, even the mechanized and all of that. Nothing came out at the end of the day. That's the truth. Because why? No binding rules, nothing. Everyone is just doing it. Even if I eat his money, it's my friend, it's my brother, it's my sister, it's my father, and all of those things. So then we now, okay, the best way, let me use an example. Two major companies, for instance, let me go here. So I'm enlightening us about the Financial Explorer. Let me go to Okun Oil before I go to Presco. So this is Okomu Oil. Now, Okomu Oil is a stock and it deals on oil palm. That's agricultural produce, just like similar to what do we call them? Presco and all the like. So if that is the case, very simple. If I want to invest, look at it now. This is Okomu Oil. Now, the question, ask yourself this question. If I even start oil palm business, okay, what will it take me to be successful? That's the question. What will it take me to be successful investing in oil palm business? Okay, so let's say I need to plant, I need to do a whole lot of things, and then buy mechanized and all of that. You should know it will take time. Okay, how much do I want to start with? And so it means I have another way of doing it. I go to company and partner with them. That's another way, partnering with people, and then rules and regulations are set. But there's something there which could share both challenges and profit. Or I fund companies. How do you fund companies? So I fund companies that are running such business. Perhaps some of them done my diligence, so my homework must be done, and I fund such company. An example of such company is Okomu Oil, for instance. So as of 2019, if I fund Okomu Oil, if I fund them, how do I fund them? Not even in the in the primary market. I just go to secondary market and fund them. How? because there is a template already, like using a case study of Nigeria, there's a template called NGX. All right. So if you have Nigerian group of whatever exchange group, whatever, as the stock capital market, people who assemble the market where the a meeting point between people who want to fund company and people who are looking for funders. Okay, so if you have this understanding, okay, so I'm looking for a company that will fund, and the company are looking for people who will fund them because they have started, they see how productive that business is, but they don't have all the fund it takes. So they share part of their company and allow public to come into it. That's what it means by buying into stock. Now, so we're exploring the global financial market. So with that, you are now co-founder. So they are not calling you CEO, director, and all of that, but there's a volume of stock you will have there. You are the decision maker because imagine you are board chairman of such company. All right. So annual meeting, you decide, okay, this is what we're going to do and all of that. So we're not going to that. So just co-fund them with your target, you're looking for money. So now, at about price of 46 naira in 2019 before COVID-19, that's 2020 was COVID-19, you decide to fund this company, and at their price of, let's say, 46 naira or 50 naira per share, you decide to fund this company. Now, the money you want to start your oil palm business with, let's say it's just like you want to start on a small scale, right? Small as it were. It's about, let's say it was 5 million naira, because I don't know how much it's going to do. So, but let's just say it's worth 5 million naira. So if you want 5 million naira, is it risky? Yes. Even if you are doing it by yourself, it's still risky. Let alone in Nigeria now, many of us know the situation when you go to farm and all of that. So imagine you are in isolation. You are investing, cultivating one palm in one forest. Now you know what it is. Okay, so there are things I don't need to say in the public. So now 5 million naira. So let's take it to be 5 million naira. So if I'm funding this company with 5 million naira, so let's say 5 million naira. Are you getting it now? 5 million naira. And the price for me to have a unit of those their business or whatever, it's going to give me 50 naira per. So 50 naira. So now with 50 naira, so I want to push in all my money because I want to open an oil palm business before, palm tree and all of that as a farm. So 5 million naira. So if you do your calculation, I'm expanding our understanding so that when we talk about exploring the financial market, it's beyond Ponzi scheme people are doing here and there. So 5 million naira. All right, this is 5 million naira divided by 50. Okay, that's gonna give me 100,000 unit of that shares. 100,000 unit. 100,000. So that means my investment, okay, a portion of the company, I'm part of it. They can't deny the fact that I'm part of the company. And now, first thing I've done is to be a co-founder to this company. Either they recognize me or not, but my name is already featured as part of their investor. Now, at the end of the whole time, the market was moving. Now, your knowledge will make you to either hold and continue to understand what's going on in the company because you are interested. Your interest now, your money is there. 5 million naira is your money. Then over time, the market is going. Now, fantastically is that some of these companies are dividend-based company. So they decide to be paying you. There's some money they set aside. Whatever thing they make, they set aside what they will share with their investors or shareholders as called. So we have categories of partners there, okay? Apart from the business owners and all of that. So people who are just investors who come and put their fund, believing in the vision of the company. So they will declare an amount to be given. So that is given. Now, presently, so 2019, 2020, 2023, so 2019, so 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, and this is 2026, 6 years down the line. So this same stock is still growing, it has not finished growing. It's presently seated at 1,300 naira 327 naira per shares, and you have 100,000. So you now say, okay, 100,000. Let's look at what will be your worth now. I was listening to somebody, was it Isaac Fayoshe, was talking about when he came back from wherever, came back to Nigeria in 2002, and he wanted to invest in farming. And so what he went to buy was some tree, Iroko tree. And he bought that 2,000 something units of it or something, 2,900 units at a cost of 1,500 naira per nursery, and planted and all of that and nurturing it. That right now is selling one tree at about 400,000 naira. Now this is it. Let's go here. 100,000 unit multiplied by 8,200, 8,327 naira per share. All right, so that's gonna, if you do your calculation, this is one, this is two, this is 132 million naira, 700. Let's call it 132 million. Now in 6 years, so 132 million divided by 6 years. On capital growth, that means your 5 million had given is worth total of 132 million. That's crazy, right? And now that's one aspect of investing. And I just took this one as an example. Now, maybe you want to go to fintech. You want to create fintech, and you know what it takes in Nigeria, for instance. Let's get a case study. What type of fintech do you want to provide? Solution, payment gateway, and all of that. The different licensing. There are some fintech you want to run. You are going to be paying 1 billion naira for license and all of that. Maybe some bank, and you want to develop some apps, some maybe 100 million naira for license and all the like. So you now look at it. Already have an existing company. Why don't I invest with this? Now, this is what we call the capital market. So you could capitalize, help this company, and all of that. Now, in the same vein, understand that there's some of the stock to pool, and that's where knowledge of consultancy come to play, where you spread your tentacles. There is no doubt about that. Some companies will do well and fall and then rise again. Some may not rise again. So that's part of the risk. In fact, in the financial market, stock is meant to be one of a risk investment, according to financial experts. Why? Because if a bond is better, but it's slow, gradual, but this one is more volatile. Price go up and down. That's where knowledge come to play. Now, this is one aspect of investing both local and international stock. Now, let me quickly say something. I said this yesterday. If you're Nigerian, I have been saying when rate of naira dollar went up to over 1,700 naira, and then some policies were made. The capital market is boosting, and I told people it's going to crash eventually again. And the previous time when it first went to 1.5 or something, and sudden crash to about 890, I told virtually everybody buy, just convert, start buying dollar back now. People were afraid, but not everyone will understand certain policies that can happen. And now the same thing we could be having. I'm not going to be surprised, because I've been saying it before now, that the price, you could see that rate can come below 1,000. I can go to 950 naira to $1, or go back to even 771, because I was checking the chart the other time. So looking at it here, USD, NGN, stuff like that. All right. So you can see the further dipping that's going to still happen probably. So if it's going to go here, 1,000 plus, but reasonably, 771 is one of my target, and then 950 is another target. Now, so it's still an investment. Now maybe you have made so much money in USD, I will push it to Naira so that I can be spending my investment money from Naira for the time being. But I will not tell you when to now upload it back to dollar. That's the another investment. Okay. So now a lot of people don't know when dynamics, things change, and when to leverage on market, as it were. I'm just giving us synopsis now, because there are a whole lot of people when they come around, I want to invest. What we've always done is go and put money into one Ponzi scheme platforms that are going to ruin people's life. No, that's not investment. Now, so a quick one I will tell you now. So you can ask me, Felix, assuming I want to come into business now, what do you advise me? I'll give you this formula. Quickly write it down. Irrespective of the amount you are coming in with, you probably want to share it 50, 30, 20 ratio. 50, 30, 20 ratio. Now, the 50% can go into, because there will be emergency. Even the scriptures he talked about, he said, build your cash flow first. Say, make your farm ready first before you build your house. So, because what does it mean by that? It is a book of Proverbs. What does it mean by that? Because if you go home and then you build one gigantic house and stay there, and there's nothing bringing money from the feed, is a problem. So that means there's a need for cash flow to be built. And if you want to build cash flow, it's not going to be built around high risk system. So on that, you want to look at what to now put in that 50% that can be generating income. Now listen, we have so many generating income system now. They are high risk, but to an extent, they are conservative strategy that are put into play. And that's why if you look at Plan B Express Cash Flow Solution Club, we created something called passive system, where you just probably stock is part of it, just buy some stock and hold on, and then dividend based blue chip stocks and all of that. Then we now have automation, copy. Now, before, copy was dangerous because you don't find reliable people who have track record to have been consistent in trading. So you have people, you fund your account is blown. We have series of cases like that. But today things has changed, and people are now becoming more wiser, looking for what will be consistent. And of course, at the end of the time, even if it's 2% a month, 1%, 3%, you make money and then you can take care of yourself. Now, so 50% go for such thing, and then 30% can go to more um, high volatile risk, but moderate to an extent. And if you look at it, if you want to be very logical about that, you probably want to say, okay, I need to get involved in trading by myself. So to trade by myself, so maybe that's where the 30% we go to trade by myself, trade Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, trade Forex and all of that. That would be an active system. Even if you're working, you're busy, you can stage your time. And one of the lovely things today is that even if you're busy, like in our platform, we'll have scanner. Scanner that's going to help you anytime you wake up, you can look at it. Because like today now, a lot of people who have the scanner have traded gold. They have made money. All right. They can decide to say they are done for the day. So now, but it's a bit, so moderate. Why do I say it's moderate? This is not an investment platform. This is not a Ponzi scheme. You get involved by yourself. For instance, let me just use a practical example here. The example you do here is that as simple as possible. I told you guys that this class is not going to be long because I have another class immediately after now, and I have a live session by 1 p.m. So you can see how jam-packed. So here, if you look at this system, how you spread and create your partition in your investment, number one, and getting involved by buying and selling by yourself. Now, if you look at it, trading is not actually simple, or let me say, trading is not it's not complex though, right? But it requires certain level of skills, not the skill alone, but discipline. Now, so if it's discipline, that is actually very difficult. Even as an adult, to discipline yourself is quite difficult. So you have to learn how to discipline yourself. Now, one of the aspects of in the financial market that discipline man that exposes the type of human you are, the type of person you are, is trading, but is actually more risky because trading is not the way people actually say it. They create a lot of hype, they tell you a lot of things, but they are not true, they are not real, to be very frank. So you encounter losses and all of that. So, like I was checking one archive yesterday or last week, somebody who had been mentoring is trading, and I told him to give him a report. For 2 weeks back to back, he had been making losses. Does that make him a bad trader? No. Number one, the instrument he has chosen to be trading have been so much choppy. Let me just go back now. In this case, looking at the market, for instance, so let's go away from the stock market and then looking at, he was trading Euro USD in Forex. Okay? So he was trading Euro USD. If you look at it, this is daily time. Okay, this is 4 hour time frame. Euro USD was his currency, and he has been trading that for as long as possible. But if we check throughout those period, Euro USD have been so choppy. Euro USD was not doing well, and then so he must have made some step, and then it bounds on him and all of that. So 2 weeks back to back, he had been recording losses. Does that make him a bad trader? No. But the point is this: that's the risk associated with this type of a thing, and he understood that this will always happen. And so building up on that, should it give up? No. So a time comes going to be profitable for it can record for the past week. And company does that too. So you can now see how stupid and funny when people tell you and you come and invest with them and they are paying you profit every day. In fact, fixed percentage every day. No loss anytime and all of that. It's quite unfortunate. The way we deceive ourselves, the way we talk to ourselves, the way we just deception on the highest order. So it's unfortunate how people actually lie to themselves and deceive themselves of what they were doing. All right. So as it were, most persons when they tell you that they are trading, they're actually not trading, is gambling. Okay. So is it possible to blow account? Yes, why not? While you are trying to learn, while you are trying to apply the right principle and strategy, you can make a lot of losses and it's normal. And it's never super normal. It's normal. You lose money, you make money, and all of that. And that's one of the things. So we now say, okay, partition the portfolio in this dimension. Half here, half here. So what to do is a spread to minimize and mitigate your loss. When you mitigate your loss, then when the loss happened here, you use the other one to counterbalance the loss that you encountered here and all of that. Now, but this thing I'm saying is actually difficult. What did I told you first in this training? I told you, and how many of you will remember, even without bringing it up? So let's see, what do I say? How many of us will remember what I say here from the starting? And that's where you know that most time what we're running to, we're actually supposed to be there all this while, but the way we're running it was actually terrible. That's the truth. Terrible because we're not guided, and sometimes we thought we're guiding ourselves. But the truth of the matter is that you can see the danger of a captain not gone through tutelage and just bundle an aircraft. Would you love to jump into such an aircraft to be flying? You won't. You will run out. That's the reality. And that's one of the things most of us do not understand. So we talked about people following meetings, trying to achieve certain results and all of that, and they could not because of the way they move around the whole thing. We said financial market, it's an investment vehicle. And if it's a vehicle, you need to learn how to drive moderately so that you arrive at your destination safely. Now, but if you're impatient and you say it's a platform, a device where money is taken from the impatient to the patient, it's natural. And so the book of Matthew, chapter 25 and verse number 29, talked about we would take, we say those that have will be given more to have abundance. And then those that have none will take from them and give to those who have to have more. Isn't that wickedness? Now you can see that trading, investing money has nothing to do with emotion. It's a principle, it's a rule. You refuse to obey the rule, it will deal with you. I always tell friends, I said, you don't tell people, oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake in trading. No, 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 no. Every sorry in trading you pay with dollar. Simple. So no fight. You have pay your fine. There's no need to say I'm sorry. You have pay your fine straight up. It's a system. It's already structured. So your penalty is waiting for you. So you don't need to like no, 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 no. Your penalty is already waiting for you. Why? Because it's a device that take from the impatient and give to the patient. Then you now see all the error you've committed. Wow, I will have waited. See what the mistake I made and all of that. Because it's a system that must take from some group of persons to a certain group of persons by default. And so, but when you listen to people out there who are just mere hype men, marketers, and all of that, They paint the picture differently and they take you to be running a race that you are not going to be given any medal. That's the truth. So, you see the example I gave? So, partitioning of like investing and categories of investment altogether. Now, the same thing in cryptocurrency. Now, let me look at it here. I'm just show you this. You see, this is a coin. Okay, so what we say here was this. Can we see it together? The market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. Financial markets are investment vehicle to your financial freedom. Therefore, learn how to drive moderately to arrive at your destination safely. So, as a PBS is a strategy, all right? It gives you the roadmap, that is, give you the map, the time synchronization. So, it gives you the schedule, but only discipline gives you the keys to the vault. So, you need to stay focused, stay objective, and then I will see you at the top. How? So, and I've told you, look at the Matthew chapter 25, verse number 29. For unto everyone that have shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that had not shall be taken away, even that which he had. Come on, that's crazy, right? But that's the truth. Now, look at it. This is a coin. I want to use it as a practical example. So you still follow me systematically. This coin I'm showing you, we got involved in 2023 with this coin. This coin, definitely, there are some persons who built a house through it. It's called Popcat. Some people built house through it. Some people changed their financial life by obeying and following just simple instruction. And what was the instruction? When they made the research about this token, we got it about 0.00 something. I can't remember. And then after Bonk, Popcat. And so somebody invested about $200. And so normally we said investing is not about the money, it's about the information, the access. And then somebody who invested $200, another person invested, I can just remember. And one man to today, I'm sure he knew what it is to miss an opportunity. If he had not invested, it's a different ballgame. And he invested average of not $200 or more than that. And so when I was doing analysis of some investment of $100 that arrived at $120,000 thereafter, and he punched the calculator and knew that his $200 would have given $240,000. What's the difference? You learn how to drive moderately so that you can arrive at your destination safely. The market is a device that takes money, transferring of money from the impatient to the patient. Now, but being patient is not just to stay and be watching. No, being patient is to have knowledge and understanding of, like the children of Issachar, that understand time and season, when to act, when to react, when to unfold, and when not to. And those are the things. But while you are doing this, listen, it's quite difficult and sacrificial in nature to be able to cope with all this. But after all, the journey or what you're even running after the whole thing, you miss the opportunity. And even the problem you were trying to solve that make you miss the opportunity, the problem is still surfacing again and again. These are the things. So they are difficult. This is not motivational talking. So the same coin had plumbed down crazily. You can now see it's about time and season. Now, lastly, I'm going to expose you to something. So we said first investing and diversifying. But please, when I talk about investing here, I'm not talking about platforms. If I'm telling you it's not about platform, I think I should have authority to be able to define what to mean by platform. Because I've said it time without number, and I will repeat it again without apology to anybody, that 99.9%, so that I won't be too absolute. But I think even 99.9 is already almost absolute. But I will tell you that 99.9% of every third party system in crypto, in Forex, you know what I mean by third party? Example. Your platform now, what is raining now is that this former, he works in CNN, he has worked in this. This has come. Those are the strategy people are using. This guy had worked in CBN before, and he has this pedigree and all of that. This guy is a C. In fact, no matter who that person is, as far as not God, forget about it, including fellas talking to you. Money involved, money is a spirit on its own. All right? It can overpower your spirit and begin to send you on errand. So anybody can misbehave. No matter how you say you have the Holy Spirit, as far you are not the Holy Spirit yourself, Holy Spirit can get angry and leave you alone, and you'll be vulnerable at that time. So these are the reality we should understand. This is about principle. So when it has to do with money, I just show you an example of a stock, for instance, now, Okomo Oil at 46 Naira, right at the point, and different stock. I didn't even talk about Presco. Presco is 1,900 Naira right now. And that was a stock that was begging a lot of people, buy, just buy, and all of that. Now, I'm not talking about some cryptos. Now, a lot of people still ask me now, bro, what is the bull run? When are we going to have bull run? I say, sorry, we enter bull market of this cycle. This cycle was long extended. We entered this cycle January 2023. I remember, and I told everybody in the ecosystem that, hey, guys, we just officially enter bull run. So people actually talk, when you say about bull run, what people call bull run is top of the roof. So that's knowledge there, ladies and gentlemen. What people call bull run is top of the roof. The bull run is that when do we officially now crept out of the bear market and start the journey of up move. So you want to catch that range when we lived from the spring. If you don't catch the spring, you are not an investor. So you can imagine people who entered the market, Bitcoin at $17,000 at 20. I stopped talking about the bull when we were at $25,000. And I pick a peg. I say, hey, my target for this bull cycle is 90,000. Anything extra is just addition. And addition can go to 110, addition can go to 125, 132, 156, and 176. A lot say 200,000. Well, I say, well, I'm not arguing that, but I can see that. Now, what am I trying to say? If you bought an asset from 17, 20, $25,000 and you get to $90,000, I think it's a good move. And having sold from that, and the market is now struggling within 67, 70, 60 something thousand. I think it's right at about 68,000, getting to 69, struggling there. And if you are able to sell something at 90,000, and then maybe the one you left went to $125,000, and then you sold some of them, well, when the market go back to about 45,000 or 36,000 as the next bear market, then you have capacity to be buying back. This is another logic, and it's a strategic investment, right? So, but not everybody want to pay attention to this. It looks so long. People say, oh, when would the market get here? So people are asking about the bull run. I say, well, for me, bull run is over. You say, are you serious? Except you have a super cycle. And now listen, when you want to have a super cycle in the market, it does not affect all the sectors. It affects concentrated sectors, and it's going to be manipulated. Not everyone will be able to handle the volatility that will erupt it. How? If they concentrate on Bitcoin right now, Bitcoin can pump and go to 132,000, and the following day can crash to $25,000. How many of you will be able to cope? It takes people who plan it, and it just to mute some few, that's a capitalization of 1 trillion or 1.2 something trillion capitalization. So just to move with few guys who know what to do and they know the button to press, it's a game. And then they press it. And the game that they will still do, the scripture confirm it. Those that have will be given to them to have abundance, and those that have none. So while they were doing that, you impatient, you supply the liquidity. And there's an adage in trading which said, if you do not know where liquidity is, you are the liquidity. Very simple. If you cannot spot liquidity, you definitely just agree, no argument, that you are the liquidity. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, so that's one of the things. And so talking about the investment, exploring the market in stock, in crypto. So the way many of us do crypto is not the way it's been done. You buy into spot. Then when you go into trading, okay, so look at Bitcoin, for instance. When you now go into trading, you are learning how to pick some move in between. Because when I told people that the market was going to be crashing, was when we were at 125, and then we return back here. I say, if we cannot move above this point, sorry. And that channel was never regained. Look at it here. You can see that? The channel was never regained. Now we're struggling to break it. If we cannot break here again, come on, forget about it. So that means we end up bottled down to below 70 something thousand. And over time, we continue to range here until we're able to slightly jump from here. These are key levels. And I've told you, if you're an investor, you need to understand key level, you need to understand structure. And of course, you need to just understand a basic thing about maybe Fibonacci too, to see where to buy in discount and premium. That's simple. And so you don't need too much English. So for that, if the Bitcoin crosses that, so you can see 54,000, that's the last hope of it till we can crash down to $36,000. And so what are you going to do? But even at that, as it's still doing this, people are trading and making money, okay, on Bitcoin. And so that comes to the aspect where you want to now buy low, sell high, or doing future trading or trading crypto or Bitcoin in what we call in the Forex market on a broker and all of that. Because when it crashes down here, look at the massive movement. This movement from here after this buy, this is a swing point. Look at the swing point on 1 hour time frame. It's a swing point. From this swing point to this point, that's about 4,900 points. Now listen, if you are trading with reasonable fund, because in trading Forex and all of that, capital is very essential. But capital is not as essential as knowledge. If you do not have knowledge, I can tell you, bring $1 billion, you give it, you dish it out ignorantly. That's the truth. So you can have big money without real knowledge, you still waste it. But if you have real knowledge and then you have big money, it's a power of leverage. So because labor, you will labor so much, you will have small money, but eventually you arrive. But you can now see favor is better, cheaper, and faster, because if you have the understanding and you have equity, that makes sense. 1% is 1%, but 1% of what? So somebody is having 1% of $1 million. You have done 1% truly. All of you have done 1%, but your capital is $100 or your capital is $10. You've done 1%. So 1% of $100 is how much? That's maybe a cent. I don't know how much that will be. All right, or 10 cents. So $100, 1% of $100 is $1. Okay, so 1% of $1 million would be about $10,000 or something like that. So you can see these are the aspect where it comes. And then I can tell you, boldly speaking, that those opportunities are available, but to what extent are you ready to learn and apply the right knowledge? So you can see that this market now, if somebody who is trading, let's say with equity of like maybe you are doing a prop firm, if you are trading a prop firm, so if you look at it, this is a knowledge. Now, if I was going to enter this market, so this is what I'm going to do. Risk reward ratio. Once the market is confirmed to be entered, this is power of 3 or swing point, and you actually wait for this candle, which I don't enter with this bogus. I need to actually reduce my stop loss. But nevertheless, this is your stop loss, 939. Okay, and then you continue to trail the market, perhaps up to this point, and you see continue to trail the market to this point, for instance. So that's about 6,000 or 5,000 points. Now listen, if it's 5,000 points, how much was your stop loss? 939. Take note. One of the fantastic things about Bitcoin, if you are very strategic. Now, 1 point in Bitcoin is $1 in one standard. So it's different from gold and currency. So if Bitcoin move by 1 point, and you know it can move very fast. So if you use one standard, it's just $1. Unlike gold, if gold move by 1 point, it's already 10 pips. And standard pips is 1.00. And then conversion is $10 in currency implication. So it means if it's gold and you do 10 point, that's 10 times 10, which is 100, and 100 times 10 again, which is 1,000. And now this is because their measurement is different. Now, so Bitcoin now, so let's say you have an account, because I normally teach this to everybody. I say, if I'm trading with an account of $200,000, the question you ask is this: how much is my daily drawdown? If my daily drawdown is 5%, that's $10,000. Now, so overall drawdown, if it's 10%, that's $20,000. So if I find this setting very nice and aggressive and nice, and I say, okay, I'm going to use 1%, okay, I'm going to use, okay, let's say 5 or 10% of my daily drawdown, because your daily drawdown is 10,000 for instance, they are saying in a day, don't lose up to $10,000. Okay, I wouldn't even go about that. Okay, can I just use a fraction of it? 5% will be $500. 10% of 10,000 should be $1,000, if I'm not mistaken. So 10% is $1,000. So with that, that means I can enter this market comfortably with one standard lot, having the awareness that if the market go wrong against me, 1K is gone. Now, see, this is the mistake we make in trading. Any trade you enter, you cannot ascertain how much you're about to lose. You will lose more than what you don't bargain. Simple. Because the market will decide what you should lose. At that point, you are now struggling. You have to negotiate. It's business. It's a contract. You have to be aware, what's my deal? So this is our deal. Because that's why I say trading is negotiation. You negotiate, okay, agree, okay, leave. And it's not a certainty, it's probability. But you're already aware. And that's where the game of put the amount you can afford to lose come to play. Not about investment. If you say put the amount of money you can lose in an investment, then you shouldn't invest. But it is when we are now trading, out of your money, you have $5,000. When you want to expose into a trade, you know that this trade is a probability, but you want to go with a higher one. But you are aware that it could go wrong. So if it's going to go wrong, how much am I going to part way? Okay, if you say, okay, I want to put all my money, then you have agreed that that's the whole money you can part with. That's the point where you will see positive people say, put the amount of money you can afford to lose. I say, no, that is not an investment language. How will I be aware that I'm going to lose money and I will just, after all, I just start putting it? No, that's not normal. In trading, a portion you set aside to deal, you have now said, that's the scripture. Until a wheat of corn fall into the ground and die, it abides alone. But if you fall into the ground and die, it germinates, it bears small fruit. So it means it's scriptural. So that portion you are putting is now a corn of wheat. So it die can either come up with fruit or die eventually because it fall into the storm and all of those things in a rocky place and it couldn't bear any fruit. So with that, but why doing that? You're already aware. Oh, $50 is what I put in there. That's a contract. The markets now go in your favor. You say, well, I told you. So the deal, the market cannot deny you. That's one thing most people don't know. Market is not emotional. It doesn't even know you. Either you're a black, white. It doesn't know you. If you like, enter market and start speaking in tongue. Bros, you are on your own. The government, the system that control the money is not speaking in tongue. Sorry. It's a principle. Even God himself. God does not give you money. God give you skill. So the skill to understand how to play with this. The God of this world are the one in charge of money. So many people don't understand. So those of us who want to use religion. So at the end of the day, what happened? The market decide to go the other way around and push you this. So now, if it goes in your favor, instead of losing that $1,000, it has gone to 6,000 or 5,000 points. Ladies and gentlemen, what you have made is 5,000 points times $1. That's $5,000 straight up. So that's the logic. Okay, so the final side is now taking advantage of your social capital. So your social capital is simple. You are building up. And no company today that does not do marketing. When I listen to people say, I don't have time and all of that, I say, what you don't know is your other brother. Now, no company, go to bank and everybody, good thing does not sell itself. Sorry. I normally hear people say good thing sells itself. It's not true. Everything you have. So imagine that even those of you who are looking for something, all the skill and everything you have acquired, you open a pot and put them there and cover it. Who will know? They won't know until you put it to test. So if you have not let people see what you carry, nobody will appreciate it. And that's the reality. So, ladies and gentlemen, so this is how to explore the global financial market. You look at investment diversification, and then knowledge is one of the vital things. Now, if you have knowledge, you can explore any tool. But if you refuse to get knowledge, I'm sorry, there's nothing or there's little or nothing you can achieve. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have done this. Thank you very much. So, if you're following us, take advantage of every opportunity we have to help you achieve financial freedom. It is very, very possible to achieve financial freedom without necessarily patronizing any Ponzi scheme. ladies and gentlemen. I think I should be able to talk. If somebody have been in a space for over 20, 25 years in a space of digital system before the advent of crypto and all of that, and I've seen the good, the bad, the ugly. That's the truth. All right. I've seen the bad, the good, the ugly. But the reality is this: if you are really determined, you can achieve better result, better than what you think. Your sanity will be given to you, and then you can build up. Good thing today, activity is not like before, where we have so much analog system. Today now you can be just one place, control everything you want to control. So I've just told you, if you've not bought coins, you've not bought all of those things and all of that, it's high time you take advantage of it right now. All right, thank you very much. See you another time. Those of you who are on the markets, whatever trading is by 1 p.m., what you expect to do is to have register your account, fill in your this, put your money in your broker, and then when we're trading, it's not story. Trading is, can we see an entry? We take an entry, we take profit. Once we have fulfilled, take profit, and all of that, everybody is happy. We're good to go. Everybody have a nice time. Then you want to take profit on your own. That's why we talk about the scanner. You on your own independently. Somebody was chatting with me this morning, or like, oh, he was making a lot of mistakes. I say, what's your background? And then when with one or two talk, he fixed himself and later gave me a screenshot. Oh, finally I made money. I said, oh, that's it. So it's not the system. If you are not getting it right, if you are not making money, then the problem is actually from you. So you sit down, fix yourself, and face the market, and market will humble itself. Thank you very much, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming. So share with your friends and help somebody you know around you. Oh, okay. Somebody say, okay, is there be a live gold trade? Okay, yeah, there's gonna be by 1 p.m. Yeah, okay, yeah. There's gonna be definitely. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Do have a nice time. Bye.